I'm standing underneath this gorgeous weeping hemlock that suffered a little bit of winter damage. Just like us, some of our trees and shrubs have struggled this winter. We have had erratic temperatures, we've had really cold winds, we've had heavy wet snow sitting on branches, but there are definitely some things we can do to help our trees out to make them so much healthier as we come into the spring. I'm going to talk about it in 3 different segments, but first let's start with this weeping hemlock and see what we can do to make it a little bit happier. So one thing that I notice on here is that this weeping hemlock has lost a lot of needles. There are some definite dead branches, one because of the winter weather, but also because these branches underneath are really shadowed by the upper branches. It's really important that you get in here and prune out those dead branches. In particular, for a weeping hemlock, they can really get some insect damage. By pruning out those branches and letting air flow through, it'll really reduce disease and insect activity. The other thing I noticed with this weeping hemlock is it's looking a little pale. Its green vigor is not there, so definitely use a fertilizer like Holly Tone. This is a perfect fertilizer to use now, applied very simply, put on the ground, but it'll really push that green color and vigorous growth after you prune out the dead branches. I'm going to move on over to this yew, this upright yew that we have over here, and some arborvitae that also suffered some winter damage, and we'll talk about what we can do with them. Okay, now I am standing at a second shrub in our beautiful display garden that also suffered a little bit of winter damage. I feel kind of bad for it. You can see this whole side has just sort of browned out. The reason is the winds come at it this way. This is called desiccation. It's actually dried out the needles on this. Also, the sun, that winter sun, even though it's wintertime, winter sun can actually burn a shrub. So this yew needs a little bit of help. If we give this yew some fertilizer, it'll really push this green new growth through. It might even just completely disguise this burnt area. If the fertilizer doesn't push the green growth through enough and that burnt area is still showing, then you can do a light shearing of it. You don't want to do a deep shearing of this one, just a light pruning to get out some of that brown. The other thing that I really noticed here is this has a big split in it. This happened from all that heavy snow that we had this year. This is really common in upright evergreens like this. It's easy to fix. If this is not a completely broken branch, you can just take something like this tie tape. This is a stretchy, waterproof tie tape that has some give, and you can actually tie this up to the other branches and it might repair itself very nicely. Sometimes when we have bigger shrubs, like the arborvitae that we have over there, we wanted to use it as a screen to help us cover the generator, but you can see they're all leaning and split from that heavy snow. You might actually need to use some stakes and tie tape to really give them some support till they really bounce back in the spring. Next, I'm going to move over to our favorite shrub that everybody loves, the hydrangea. Okay, now I am standing at one of our all-time favorite shrubs, the hydrangea. This happens to be a bloom-struck hydrangea, and I feel so bad for it because it really has suffered some winter damage. You can see it has broken branches completely. It has a few of them. This one I just found laying on the ground. It really has struggled. Here's the thing about hydrangeas. I really don't want you to prune hydrangeas too much. Only prune off the broken areas that you see, and the one other thing that you can prune actually is a spent bloom, just the bloom. Hydrangeas really don't like to be pruned that much, and if you want to get the maximum bloom capacity out of them, only prune out the dead wood that really got damaged and broken this winter. So there are many things that you can do to help your plants recover from all this winter damage. Use some good slow release fertilizer, prune out some of the dead branches, use some tie tape to help stake them up. You can also use tie tape to help repair splits. So there are a lot of things that we can make our plants a lot happier. Thanks a bunch. See you next time.